I'm Jono from Your Energy, and we're here at the 2024 New South Wales EV Autoshow at the International Convention Centre. And I mean, as you can see, there's a lot of cars here. We're gonna see what's good, what's not good, what's new. There's a lot of new Chinese cars here. We'll see whether they stand the test of time, and we'll see whether they actually have quality, because everyone's raving about them with their low prices and they're being introduced to Australia. Let's see what they're like.
Presented by Your Energy Answers.
I mean, MG obviously have like the MG ZS EV, which is one of the cheapest electric cars you can get. But this is obviously equivalent to like the Tesla Roadster. You know, the BYD Seal is probably the BYD's most premium option. Xpeng had this bloody like flying car. Everyone here is obviously trying to show off, you know, their creme de la creme of like things that they've made before to try to impress everyone. But obviously, this is for show. Not a lot of people are gonna be driving around the streets in these unless they have a lot of cash. See, when I was told that electric vehicles, you know, would end the weekend, and then I'm standing in front of an electric vehicle right now, and I've got camping gear, more camping gear, a TV, coffee, and a picture of this hybrid Ford Ranger going off-road, I'm thinking, this is just gonna make the weekend even better. They have a Starlink here. That's kind of cool, actually. You know, that's an interesting use of electric vehicles, right? Having Starlink so you can have off-grid internet, basically wherever you are. But then you're thinking to yourself, oh, where am I gonna plug it in? I'm gonna need a generator. But then you have your plug-in electric hybrid Ford Ranger, and you can just plug your Starlink internet straight into the car. Then you have internet everywhere you go. So here we have GWM Great Wall Made. It's obviously a Chinese brand. And right next to it, we have Kia, which was established in 1946, and it's Korea's oldest car manufacturing company. So it's interesting to see these new brands and contrasting them to these established brands in the industry. But obviously, a lot of these brands are new in terms of their EV industry. A lot of them are making the switch to manufacturing electric vehicles as obviously the globe switches to environmental sustainability. Wait, the Aura, this is the cheapest electric car you can get in Australia, right? Because a lot of the time I've been saying the BYD Dolphin is the cheapest one, but I actually think the Aura is the cheapest that you can get, at least right now. But it looks nice, it looks so sleek. It has a lot of space actually, to be fair. So the GWM Aura has about a 63 kilowatt hour battery. So it's obviously meant for those like city drives. Obviously that's why it's smaller and more compact. What do you think? It's nice, no?
It's like really nice for 35 grand.
Wait, do
fiber.
you have an EV yourself?
I've got an EV, I've got a Tesla.
Ah,
yeah,
nice.
It's not like a cheap car. Look, listen.
I know, it's nice.
Come on, for a Chinese car, listen.
Exactly, but it's like the Android, you know?
Yeah.
Tesla's like the Apple. Tesla's like the Apple. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? It's worth the price.
Yeah.
Because if we're asking more than 35, there's no way we'll look at it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But to be honest, like, this is a nice car for 35 grand. Like, I like all of this. It doesn't look cheap.
Yeah, it looks like racing as well.
It looks really nice.
Yeah.
They're done nicely. It doesn't look cheap.
Tesla's like Apple. Everything's modern. Correct. Yeah. Everything's sleek.
Yeah, everything's.
And the interface is super easy. Yep. Obviously, like it's all on the one screen.
Okay.
Like in the car, right?
Yeah.
But
then update to the Tesla itself.
Oh yeah, and it does it yourself. But then you've got like the But then with the BYD, you've got buttons everywhere.
Oh,
it's like
the old-fashioned.
Yeah. You can tell it's like made by. Not being like offensive, but it is made by like just a Chinese guy who's like, this is practical, this is tactical, this is good.
The wing is nice.
Yeah, I know.
Look at it. It's
but
slick.
this is like, it's got GT, so it must be like racing.
Nice. It looks very slick for like a cheap car.
No, and when they have red brakes, you know it's like, you know it's cool, you know it's cool.
Let's go.
Damn.
It's not a bad car.
But it's nice, it's nice.
Not a bad car.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we actually did a review of this car with my boss, Marcus. It's a very interesting video. I suggest you go watch it. Oh, this is a hybrid tank. So this is obviously marketed towards the person who wants to like drive off-road, who wants to go traveling with their family, but it's big. I guess that's why it's called a tank as well, isn't it? I'm looking at the Aura, I'm looking at the Jolion hybrid. Obviously these are newer cars. The GWM Aura is like the cheapest electric car you can get in Australia, pretty much. Why is that? Is it a good car? What do you like about it?
It's a very small, compact car, but once you sit inside, and I'm not sure you have done so.
Oh yeah. It's spacious. It's very spacious.
That's right. So even when I sit down, I'm like 190 tall, and someone sits behind me. It's
yeah. There's heaps. Yeah.
It's massive space.
You'd be great driving like in an Uber situation in it. Yeah. Heaps of room. Obviously, I haven't seen a lot of GWM Auras or GWM Aura GTs on the road. So if something does go wrong, obviously it being kind of a newer car, I understand GWM is very well established in China, for example, but if something does go wrong in Australia, what's, getting parts like that, what's the service like, and what's the warranty situation like as well?
Yeah, so first of all, we offer 7-year warranty, which seems to be quite competitive in that segment.
Yeah, definitely.
We have been focusing a lot lately on the after-sales side of things, right? So we have about 100 dealerships across Australia.
Yeah.
And what we do have an Aura as an EV offering for us. We also obviously have the Jolion, the H6s, the Utes as well. And parts, while there can be some delay here and there, right? We work very close with our head office team over in China, so if there's any urgent parts that we require, they tend to be quite good in getting them over here quicker than 3 months. There might be the rare case where things take a bit longer because they're brand new cars, but since the Aura has been out for quite some time now, we tend to have parts readily available. And the guys and the team that actually built a brand new parts warehouse up in North Melbourne as well.
Oh, really? So it's good to have one locally, so they're not just shipping them.
They've been really focusing on getting parts shipped out to dealers pretty much within 24 hours where they can.
Which is speedy. That's obviously what
it's trying to get to the same level as your established brands as well.
Who are these cars aimed at? What is your lineup aimed at for people?
We pretty much offer a car in pretty much every segment, apart from smaller cars. So the Aura would be our smallest car, and that's really
like cities.
We're trying to target it as a city, like dweller car, but we have a lot of older customers as well that think, hey, this car is small, I can easily drive it. It has a lot of tech, so
like zips around.
Very great 360 camera. The screen is quite large. So we tend to have customers across the range for the Aura, but then with the Jolion, that's also a young family or.
And it's a hybrid, so it has that longer range. And
then with the Tank 500, it's really your getting out there sort of couple. So it could be an older couple that just wants to go out and explore the country.
They want to go camping.
Correct,
they got a spare tire just in case something goes wrong. China has like 150 more EV brands in China as opposed to what we have in Australia. Like we only have a limited number. But obviously once like companies like GWM, BYD come out in Australia, they can undercut so much of the market, like from $60,000 starting price Teslas and things like that, because they have much cheaper EV options. See, I just don't know whether you'd trust like a third-party EV charger in your house. Like if you have a Tesla, why not just get the Tesla charger? I understand like this is probably cheaper. If you have a BYD, why not just get the BYD home charger, I'm Jono from Your Energy Answers, and we're standing in front of ZEEKR. It's not the best like white pages choice for a name, isn't it? You're coming in last, Tell me a bit about yourself. I understand you guys are a Swedish company. I see some tall Swedes walking around. Tell me a bit about yourself. Who are you guys?
With ZEEKR. My name is Andrew. I'm the head of marketing for ZEEKR Australia and New Zealand. Now, ZEEKR is actually more Eurasian. We're designed in Sweden, Gothenburg, Sweden, and produced in China, manufactured. Now, we don't make boring cars. We are a pure electric vehicle company. And we're only a 3.5-year-old brand. Our parent company, Geely Group, also owns the like of Volvo, Polestar, Lotus.
So you guys have been established for a while. While ZEEKR's new, you guys have a history.
But the ZEEKR brand is only 3.5-year-old.
Okay. But it's also good that you guys are attached to that kind of prestige and history, which means if something goes wrong with the car, you don't have to worry about like ZEEKR running away with your money, for example, because they're connected to that.
Absolutely.
I think that's important for people to know.
Absolutely
as well, right? IKEA obviously has a history, The Swedes are making quality products, but IKEA is based on build it yourself, right? ZEEKR, am I going to have to build this car myself? I mean, I can see this guy, this little sneaky guy over here, he's moving the chair up and down. Are these cars build it yourself, or is it DIY, or is everything set for you?
No, thankfully not. The EVs that we have are literally top of the range and also best in class. We are true European design, as I mentioned, because we're designed in Gothenburg, Sweden. And you don't have to build it yourself. And battery replacement, you don't have to worry up till 200,000 kilometers, something crazy like that. And then whenever you buy an EV, it's always a brand new car, simply because any update on software is done over the air. And you will always get a brand new car.
Exactly. And so what's kind of the services like? Do I need to get it serviced year in, year out? Is that kind of the go?
Not at all. I think you're recommended to come in and bring the car in for a check in every 12 months, but 24 months is ample. Now, we've just recently launched as well in Australia.
And so what, if I need to get like a service done or like make a warranty claim or something like that, do I go to the local ZEEKR dealership, or are you guys partnered with like UltraTune, for example, or something like that?
Not at all. You'll be directed to our ZEEKR dealership.
Okay, beautiful. So it's in-house, which is great. Yeah. And that's what you want to hear. You don't want to hear a company palming you off to someone else, which is great. Now, this looks like a nice car. I can see the red trim. It looks fast, right? Is this kind of your premium like GT option?
This is actually a performance option.
Okay.
You are right, like a GT option. And this was co-engineered with Kimi Räikkönen.
Ooh, okay.
The Iceman.
Yeah, of course.
So maybe you should have a look.
Yeah, let's go. Let's lock in. Let's lock in.
Have a step at 0 to 100.
Not really, because I know it's going to be low. I know it's low.
Just step. Give a step.
It's like 4?
Half that.
Oh, I feel embarrassed right now.
2.02 seconds.
2.02. That's crazy.
That's it. Obviously, this is only on sale in China.
Yeah, well,
but-
hence why there's Chinese characters on there.
Correct. And we ship this here on purpose because we want to show people what we have made.
Yeah,
and
what the
we have
potential
sold.
is to come into the Australian market.
Full Alcantara.
Very, I wouldn't want to bring a drink in here. It's so nice. I love the red trim too. Good luck in China, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, good luck. That's right.
Okay, so obviously moving from just an absolute beautiful machine to the more practical option, right? For the everyday driver, not, your Kimi Räikkönen trying to go 0 to 100, down the streets.
Still a beautiful looking machine.
Well, you can definitely see kind of that Swedish design obviously transferred from performance to the everyday practicality, right?
Correct. And design-wise as well, you can tell that this is very minimalist. However, we didn't discount anything in terms of screen, for example. You still get your digital cluster, your head-up display, and then you've got a center screen console as well.
Yeah.
So, you've got a few different viewpoints, options as well.
One thing I will say about the design of this car is a lot of Chinese-made EVs aren't that easy in terms of user interface. But obviously, you're seeing, whilst Chinese manufactured, whilst established in China, there's key remnants of that European design, which is then making it easy to use, which I think is going to help these cars in the Australian market, especially for the older people. Because like my dad, for example, he drives a Tesla, and he drives that mainly because it's just easy. The user interface is easy. Practical, easy. But then you look at this and you're like, I see a lot of similarities, which is great, which is what you want in your electric vehicle. Yeah.
This is meant it's a cross SUV, so it's meant more for an urban drive around. A 66 kilowatt battery, comes in single and dual motor, right? And range between 420 to 460.
Which is still considerable, yeah.
Exactly, and with EVs, it depends on how your usage as well, right? And where you're looking to charge your car, and if you do work, you can charge that in the office.
Yeah.
There's multiple touch points as well, and it's easier to charge in a metro environment.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
We've got the Sport.
Yeah.
We've got, your city slipper. It's beautiful for the family, whatever you want. But then I'm looking over here. Like, is this to like chauffeur people in? Is this for, your premium Uber driver, your black? Who's this for?
Your first guess and second is correct, right? That's number one. We are looking at chauffeuring like business people to begin with. But then again, families as well.
Definitely.
Who especially, you think about private school, right? A lot of families that want to pick their kids up from those type of schools.
They want to have space for the kids in the back.
And your soccer moms, you're probably your future soccer moms, maybe. If you look at the car seats as well, which is visible to you now.
Okay, yeah.
Your second row is literally the main cabin, right? You've got your heated seats, ventilated, massage function. It goes rotate back as well.
You make me want to get in there now.
What are you?
Get me in there. Get me in. Oh, hello. Sorry. Hey. Oh yeah. So what do we got? Let me get comfortable. A lot of space here. And if I'm like 6'2", look how much room I have.
Yes, you still have a lot.
Damn. Yeah. There's a lot of space here, It's nice that they have EVs that cater towards every kind of customer. This is obviously catered more towards like a family, right? It is nice, but if you're trying to park in Newtown, for example, if you're trying to park in Surrey Hills or somewhere in the city or Randwick to go to the beach, this car is a bit big for that. But if you want to be going out on the weekends, right? You want to be going down to Wollongong, Kolbara Beach is where I like to go, right? You're going to need a bigger car with a bigger battery, with a bigger boot, so that you can take all your stuff to go where you want to go for those longer distance travel. Like, look how much space it has. Like, I can basically sit in here. So I'm Jono from Your Energy Answers, and I'm here with
Matthew Dowell, Head of Product at Audi Australia.
Beautiful. And so we're sitting in front of the first car here, which is the Q6 e-tron. who is this car meant for? I mean, it's a beautiful looking car. It's got a lot of space. I'm assuming it has a bigger battery than, your smaller EVs that you offer. Yep. Tell me a bit about it. Yeah.
So basically the all-new Q6 e-tron is our latest all-new product sitting on an all-new Audi platform. It's called Premium Platform Electric, which is the new platform for all of our new electrified vehicles. Brand new interior concept, curved OLED display screens, things like that. We've got crystal LED headlights, which are matrix, OLED rear tail lights, so all that lighting technology comes out in this all new car. Got new battery technology as well, so as you mentioned, we've got a lot higher density battery, super fast charging as well, 10 to 80% charge, around 25 minutes. So
really?
It's just under 25 minutes, around 23.
Wow. And that's charging at home or charging?
DC charging,
DC
so in the public.
Okay.
We've got up to 11 kilowatt hours of charging at home as a single phase, and that's standard in the car. We also run 2 AC charging ports, one on either side of the vehicle, so it doesn't matter where you've got your wall charger at home.
You just drive in, it does the job for it.
Nose in or reverse in, and you've got a fill station on either side of the car.
So Audi's a European brand, right? Yeah. And I mean, I can see a lot of that in the design. I mean, I'm not like being offensive to, but like looking at the Xpengs, I have a BYD at home, and I've also driven a Tesla as well, right? Yep. And looking at the difference between a Tesla, for example, and then comparing that to the BYD is much more like, it's like you're in an Android car. It's like the functionality, the user interface, it isn't as easy to use. But then I'm sitting in this one and I'm going, this is like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my entire life, right? Like it's so well designed. You obviously have, your OLED screen and whatever's going on. It's beautiful. Now, can you tell me a bit about the RS e-tron over here? Because this is just a purely beautiful car, right? Is this the competitor like that Audi offers, when we're looking at the MG Cyberstar and we're looking at, the Tesla Roadster that they're flashing up the front, right? This is the premium, your sports stars driving, your Michael Jordans are driving, right?
It is. This is the pinnacle of our EV range. So being the RS model as well, it's an Audi Sport high performance model, up to 475 kilowatts of power, 3.3 seconds 0 to 100. The beauty about this car is it also handles like a true sports car as well. So similar to our last Halo in the ICE or the petrol range being the R8, this is the Halo for our electrified range. But fits 4 seats, or 4 people inside the car. So it's a 4-door coupe.
So you're not sacrificing, any space for like that sports car.
You're still getting that sports car and that kind of power and torque and 0 to 100.
Because I'm looking at this from a distance as I'm walking in and I'm thinking, damn, why have they brought like an Audi TT here? Yeah. And then I see this and I'm like, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Chief designer said it was the most beautiful car he's ever designed. And proof is in the pudding. It's also our fastest and most powerful Audi that we've ever produced.
Lovely.
And it's battery electric.
That's all you can ask for. And can I ask you a bit about the range? What's the range on this as opposed to the range on this, and why the ranges are different, what does that tell us about who these cars are kind of meant for, right?
Yeah, it all comes down to performance. So being a performance car, very similar to R8, you would have a fuel tank that would hold X amount of litres of fuel. Yeah. Very similar to a performance EV, the ranges are slightly smaller because the power output is much more significant. You're looking at over 600 horsepower versus something that has kind of 280 kilowatts. This is 475 kilowatts. So it's very similar to that. With range, we range from the Q4 e-tron on the far side there. We've got a combined WLTP range of up to 511 kilometres.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So quite amazing. And then around 400 for the RS e-tron GT. Yeah. And this one's yet to go through homologation yet. Oh, okay. But we're expecting quite a high range similar to the Q4.
I mean, AGL's obviously here to market towards like people. They need electricity to charge their EVs. They're just trying to get ahead of the market,
These cars are beautiful, but to be honest, people do not buy new cars all the time. It's something that people only do once or twice in their lives if they're lucky.
It is expensive.
And it's expensive and it's a big commitment. So the idea behind the AGL EV subscriptions is to lower the perceived and the anxiety around, oh my goodness, I'm going to go and buy a technology that I haven't really been exposed to in a great deal, and I don't know if I'm making the right choice. So what the EV subscription does is it allows you to get behind the wheel of a fairly new vehicle that's usually been out that year, and you can subscribe it for 1 month, 6 months, 12 months, even longer. I have one. I'm probably going to hold on to it for a little bit longer, but it also means that I can give it back and then make another decision later on after that. So you can go into a different car, a different type of EV, or even go on to purchase one. But it just means that I get to experience what it is, see if it suits me. And that's
obviously it's a big decision. A Tesla Model Y, for example, is $60,000-$70,000, but then you're just paying like $300 a week or whatever it is for the subscription price, and then you're kind of testing out that car to see whether you want it in the future, right?
Correct. And the subscription comes in the same way that you rent a car, and it's insured. The registration's paid for.
So it's a flat cost?
Yeah, it's just a flat cost, and you get to enjoy the vehicle. The only thing you're paying for is the charge, effectively.
Yeah.
You can purchase an EV charger from AGL, and the service we offer there is we select from the market what we believe to be EV chargers that will work for different homes. So you'll see behind the wall there, we've got a range of chargers from different brands.
Oh yeah, like I can see the Tesla one. So that's, obviously like if you have a Tesla, you would use your Tesla charger. Yeah,
correct. And we do that because we don't manufacture them either. But we feel that we need to be able to answer people's questions around, well, what charger do I actually need? What if I have solar? What if I've got a very complicated house? Or what if I just really need something to plug into and I don't need to go into all of those smarts? So we want to be able to offer and talk through that choice with consumers as they make that choice.
Definitely. And speaking about, lowering that barrier between having an electric vehicle and, switching to like the green transition of the home and individuals, harnessing the energy of the sun, for example. I understand you guys have the Night Saver program, and I'm an AGL customer at home, but I didn't even know that this existed. And so my family and I, like my parents, both have an EV. Like my dad has a Tesla, and then my mum has a BYD.
Great.
And they're charging it for so much, right? Like it's like $12 overnight.
Wow.
But then I'm looking here, and it's 8 cents a kilowatt hour, which is crazy cheap for that AGL plan, right?
Yeah. I mean, you're effectively charging that for what the equivalent of $3 if they're top-up charging. So we put that in place because we know that load shifting is really important for the sustainability as more EVs hit the road. Because if we all get home and we charge at any time, it can create a really big problem. We're at 1% penetration of EVs at the moment. It's going to be a really big problem at 10%. It's going to get an even big problem. So we're starting to put in these plans that shift or incentivize a shift to charge it off peak, so that we're not running into that problem later on, and also to increase customer consciousness that their choices around when, where, and how they charge will make an impact. And
it's also great having, transparency from an energy provider, because I know that there are a lot of, like, not with AGL, but like with other energy providers, I won't name names, but they installed the smart meter, and then not a lot of people know that because they have a smart meter now, rather than the price being a flat fee of, 30 cents per kilowatt hour throughout the whole day, it's suddenly, 15 cents at a certain time, and then on another time it's like 60 cents, right? Yep. And so it's suddenly doubled the price of charging their electric vehicle. But then when you have this Night Saver subscription, which, I'm only finding out about now, I'm now realizing, wow, I'm glad, we got our smart meter installed, because now I can just be charging it for 8 cents, which is great. And it's so much cheaper, Yeah,
and that's the idea behind the Night Saver, is we're trying to shift the load, we're trying to reward people for that charging behavior, that conscious charging behavior, and it allows people to charge at a time that's really convenient for them, because chances are you're not driving around at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I hope not. Not yet, right?
No, not yet. So AGL, traditionally you guys are, an electricity provider, but we're obviously at this kind of EV event right now. I'm seeing all these EV brands, and I've just learnt a lot of information from one of your colleagues about, the subscription service and the energy offerings that you provide to kind of offset the price of charging an electric vehicle at night. Obviously, we know that having an electric vehicle, we have an electric vehicle at home, for example, and we don't have solar at the moment, right?
Yeah.
But having solar would be a great way to offset that charging price even more, as opposed to having the Night Saver plan, which is great. But it would be even more great to be charging your electric car for free.
Absolutely.
So what kind of does AGL offer to help you, transition into a clean energy home and charge your car for free, basically?
So adding things like solar panels to power your EV during the day is a great way to both reduce your energy bills as well as potentially reduce your carbon footprint.
Yep.
You could even look at things like adding a battery so that you're getting more advantage once you have those solar panels in. If you've got a fast charger, it means you can only be charging during those solar soak periods when there's lots of free energy in the grid, sun's out. And you can even, with your house, if you think about all of the different assets that are powered by electricity, things like your heating and cooling systems and your hot water systems. When all of those work together and are electrified, we're finding that households in Australia can save a significant amount of money on their energy bills.
Yeah. And so what do you think about, we have a house in Newtown, for example, not mine, my parents', right? And it's getting renovated. And as we're getting renovated, because we have an electric car, we're thinking to ourselves, we have this electric car, we're going to get solar, hopefully we can get battery if we can afford it, for example.
Yeah.
But then we're also thinking, if we have solar, electric hot water could be a great idea. Hot water heat pumps, stuff like that. And also like induction stoves and having energy efficient appliances, right? What do you think the importance of that is to help Australians, especially now when there's the cost of living and everything going on? What would you say to Australians, to push them towards making that investment, which might be more upfront, but it's obviously going to save them much more money in the long term, right?
Yeah, so I was actually part of the team that helped AGL build a tool called Electrify Now.
Oh, can you tell me a bit?
Yeah, sure, I can take you through it.
Oh, wonderful.
So essentially, this is a tool that uses an advanced algorithm to help you calculate how much you could save if you were to electrify your home.
Okay.
And that looks at assets exactly like you were talking about across solar, battery, your car, hot water, heating and cooling, so that your home can actually work with itself to get the most benefit that you possibly can.
I'm here at Deepal, and who am I here with?
David, I'm the PR manager for Deepal.
Wonderful. And we're standing in front of the Deepal SO7. What is this car? Who is it meant for?
So we've just launched last month actually at Sculptures by the Sea. We announced pricing today, so it's $53,900 plus on road.
Oh, okay.
And you get 470 Ks of range.
Yep.
It's
a lot, actually.
Yeah. And Deepal it might be a new brand for Australia, but it's backed by Chang'an, which has actually been creating cars since 1959. So it's definitely not a new brand to making cars.
Yeah.
So it's just educating people today about what Deepal is about and who we are and where we come from.
Yeah.
The SO7 is actually designed in Turin, so in Italy.
Yeah,
so even though it's Chinese made,
Italian design. That's probably why it looks so sleek.
And so a lot of the inspiration of Deepal comes from nature, obviously being an EV as well. So a lot of the design elements sort of incorporate that, and you'll notice that through features and functions inside the car as well, which I can take you through. One of my favorite features is it's segmented audio, so the driver's seat has a speaker in the headrest, so you can actually continue listening, your passengers can continue listening to music while you basically get fed sort of the information from Google, like Google Maps.
Really? Okay. And then they can't hear that.
They can't hear that. I can hear that, and it won't alter the audio in the rest of the car.
Oh, okay. So it's a better experience for kind of everyone in the car as well.
Correct.
Wow. Standing under a sign that caught my eye, world's first EV tyre brand. Now this catches my eye because it's something that, there is a market for, but I didn't know that there was a market for, right? Which is EV tyres.
Yep, absolutely. 7 out of 10 people don't know that EV cars require EV-specific tyres, and that's why we want to create that awareness. And obviously, we are the world's first EV tyre brand, and Hankook has been since 1941.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, so you're an established brand in the industry.
Yes, absolutely. We are the 7th biggest tyre brand in the world.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We have like 5 research centers across the world and 7 factories.
Oh, wow. Okay,
yes, and so we are present across 189 countries. So it's definitely a very well established brand.
That's good. That's good to hear because I was thinking as I came past, I haven't heard of Hankook. I've obviously heard of Bridgestone. I've seen that on the Audi tires, for example. But it sounds like you guys are well established, which was going to be a question I was going to ask, but there's no need to ask it because clearly 7th biggest tyre brand in the world. If someone is to get tyres from your brand put on their car, you know that you guys are going to be around to help them in the future, right?
100%, because we are giving 14-day satisfaction guarantee. So if somebody buys our tires and they don't like it, no questions asked, we refund it straight away.
Yeah.
Having said that, we also back our product. So we have 70,000 kilometers guaranteed on our EV tires.
Okay.
So when you look at an ICE tire on an ICE car, it only averages about 60,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
But if you put the same ICE tire on an EV car, it ranges anywhere between 18,000 to 25,000 kilometers.
Oh, okay.
And this is based on a lot of people that have said, and it's not something that I'm saying. That's because EVs are about 30% heavier than ICE.
With the battery.
Yes, with the batteries. And then also with EVs, you get high amount of instant torque. Combination of these things wears the tires out very quickly and also leads to uneven wear.
Yeah. And so that's because of the weight of the battery pushing down the car, which is then pushing down on the tires. And then so when the battery is pushing the motors to move the tires, right, it's obviously much more pressure on the tires,
yes.
right?
One is the pressure, and as you're driving through, the rubber on the tires heats up, and then when it heats up, it starts gripping better. Which means what happens is it kind of resists the rolling. Due to which there is reduction in battery range as well as the tire wears out faster. Now to counter that, what we have done with our Ion tires is, firstly, Ion is also the official tire of Formula E. This was designed from scratch over 7 years of research. And the compound we have used here, the structure, everything is completely skewed towards the EV racing tire. And so, and also if you look at Formula One car racing, now they happen on different circuits or different racetracks, whereas the Formula E happens on different streets of the cities. So which means there's a lot of common factors between the regular SUV and car tires and these Ion racing tires. So we were able to transfer the technology and develop Ion range of car and SUV tires. So that's how we can guarantee that these last long. And then also performs better exclusively for EV cars.
We're standing in front of this car. This is a very sleek looking car. It's very nice. What's the price and what's the range? Give me the facts.
Yeah, of course. So you got two different ranges that you can get. So you got the standard range, which is priced at $54,800 plus on roads.
Competitive pricing?
Yes, definitely. And then you've got your range, which is 435 kilometers, WLTP. It's a smaller battery. It's a 66 kilowatt battery. And it's a 435 range, and then you got the long range, which is a 570 kilowatt.
And so, kind of, who is this car, aimed at, right? Is it aimed for the city splitter, cruising through the streets, going to Randwick for the beach on the weekends and stuff like that? Or is it?
It can go any small families to beach drives to retirees. It's aimed at any. Like I have a drive car myself, one of these, and I love it. That's my daily driver. It's literally aimed at anyone. The power is there, the comfort's there, the reliability is there. It's super fast charging as well. So it's an 800 volt architecture. So it basically means 20 minutes for a full charge. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I understand you guys have been established in China, right? And then you're bringing them over to Australia now once regulations and things like that are sorted for the car. So in terms of warranties and say someone scratches me up as I'm cruising down the street or whatever, are there after sales services and things like that?
Of course. So you've got warranty, you've got 5 years on the body. And 8 years on the battery. And after sales services with UltraTune, they've got 200. They've got 260 sites across Australia.
Well, we got our old. I don't have a petrol car anymore, but our old Subaru Forester. UltraTune was the place to go for it.
100%. So we partnered up with them for the after sale support.
That's actually really helpful that you guys have the UltraTune partnership, because obviously a lot of Chinese companies coming over. BYD, for example, if the BYD gets damaged, it's up to a 3-month wait for parts, right?
Exactly. So we're holding our parts already in stock, and it's just all local supply.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Lovely to talk to you. And so that was the 2024 International EV Auto Show. Seems like there's a lot of Chinese brands here, but it also seems like a lot of them are attached to these larger companies that have been around for 50 years. So I'd say that the concern isn't too high. I mean, we know that BYD has been well established as an electric vehicle manufacturing brand for a long time. So it'll be interesting to see whether companies like Xpeng, Deepal, ZEEKR can actually follow. It's also interesting what AGL had to offer in terms of their ability to discount EV charging at night, and also their ability to analyze your electricity bill and give you accurate information on how you can reduce your cost of living through elements like solar and induction stoves and things like that.
Want more energy answered? Visit yourenergyanswers.com for quality energy products, tools and calculators, and find your quality local installers. Please support the channel by liking the video, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell, and check out all our other videos. You're still here? I'll see you next time. Bye.